In the NHC, New Haven at Columbia City. Columbia City put up 62 last week against DeKalb, but we haven't seen that consistently week in and week out. They only scored 6 against Homestead in a previous week. New Haven has been a nice, somewhat of a surprise because how dominant they've been. They're 5-0, coming off a good game. So talk a little bit about what we're going to see from this game and what you expect to see from New Haven and Columbia City. I
think we're going to see a frustrated Columbia City offense trying to score against a very good New Haven defense. Carroll was very good offensively, and New Haven was just flying all over the place against him and very, very physical against Carroll in the game that I saw. So New Haven's defense is very underrated. People don't talk about that defense nearly enough, and their offense is very balanced. They can throw the ball, they can run the ball. So I don't think this will be a good game at all. I think Columbia City, though they've been back in the last couple of years, had really good teams. I think New Haven is a special team this year, and what I can't wait for is that New Haven at Homestead game in a few weeks.
That is going to be a big one, could very well decide the NHC title. I think Travis Herbst had a big game last week for Columbia City. 3 passing touchdowns, 1 rushing touchdown. Jared Murphy a couple touchdowns, same Daly. They're doing it across the board. But New Haven is different in many ways than DeKalb, so we shall see. Should be a good one. Should be a lot of offense in that one, at least on one side of the football, I think.
Sure.
Heritage at Leo on paper, one of the biggest games in the conference this entire season. Heritage put up 57 last week in a victory. Leo continues to roll, continues to be the dominant team in this conference. Really, the ACAC championship seems to be it will come down to this game.
Yeah, I really do. There are 3 unbeaten teams left in the ACAC with Garrett, Leo, and Heritage. 2 of them play this week, so there'll only be 2 left maybe if Garrett can win this week as well. I was really surprised. Leo struggled with Muncie Southside a little bit, and I didn't think Leo would be challenged at all this year, but they were. But here's the difference in this game. Yes, Heritage is much better than it was a year ago. Leo probably isn't quite as good as it was a year ago, but Leo still has depth, whereas Heritage has a lot of good players, but they don't have the depth that Leo does. Leo's defense, well, you know, let's start with Heritage's defense. They're giving up 11 points a game, which you would think, hey, that's phenomenal. But Leo's only allowed 21 points all season long. And so they're even better defensively. And Leo has really good balance on offense. They had 3 guys last week that ran the ball for at least, I think it was 25 yards. Rohrbacher, Leiter, and Rance Harris are all good. Sam Waters is doing a good job in his first year as starting quarterback. And so they're just really balanced, and they have a lot of depth. I don't think that this will be as close a game as maybe it appears on paper. But in that conference race, you know, this is going to be critical, whoever wins this game.
Yeah, you mentioned the Leo Southside game. Unfortunately, you also mentioned the depth. I don't think we got to see Leo expose the lack of depth from Southside because that game got canceled so early.
It was rainy, bad weather, and it got short, which depth plays a key in the 3rd and 4th quarters, and it never really reached that point.
Yeah, and Leo certainly the team to beat in the conference so far this year, and Heritage, Dean Lamb has done a great job there.
Yes, he has.
I think this is Leo's game to win. We'll have to see, though. That's why they play him on Friday night.
But they will score because Connor Sheehan and Will Kanafke can rack up some yards and some points. So they'll find ways to score points.
Brenton Lockett's done a great job as well for that Heritage offense. And Sheehan may be having statistically just as good a season as any quarterback in this area. So you definitely cannot count them out. Any other things you're looking forward to here in this week 6 of the high school football season?
Well, there are some good games. You know, the Battle of Adams County with Adams Central and South Adams going to Byrne to play South Adams. On paper, it's not the sexy matchup with, you know, great records or anything, but tell me this won't be a competitive, bitter rivalry where the kids really play hard and get after each other. Southern Wells and Bluffton are playing this week. Last year was a 41-40 Tiger win, so those 2 teams are very competitive. And then an interesting matchup in the NHC is Carroll traveling to Belmont. Now, you know, a lot of people think Carroll is much better than Belmont, and it won't be that good a game. But, you know, Larry Getz is a good coach. He'll have Belmont ready to play. And as good as Carroll looked last week in special teams and defense against East Noble, they struggled mightily offensively. So, you know, that could be a surprise game.
And we don't generally talk about the NCC because there's only one team in the area that plays in that conference. But Huntington North, Drew Schnitz had done a great job so far this season. I saw him play against north side. And I'll tell you what, this kid can throw the football. 9 touchdowns, set a state record this past week in a 62-49 win over Anderson. Your boy Trent Fine doing good things over at Huntington North.
A lot of excitement there.
Yeah, Caleb Richardson, 6 touchdown catches, that tied a state record. So they're doing some good things at Huntington North.
Yeah, and they can make some noise once a postseason tournament gets here. Anytime that your offense is clicking like that and it's getting better each and every week, they could make some noise late in the season.
And it's funny to see because Huntington North, when I think Huntington North, I think running the football, toughness up front. They kind of remind me of East Noble. You think linemen, you think big, strong backs trying to run for 300 yards a game.
But you have to take advantage of the skills that you have on the team. And if you have a kid who can throw the ball like that, you can't be handing it off all the time. So, you know, they got to take advantage of that.
Yeah, Huntington North, a very big victory, setting state records in Trent Fine's first season. So it should be a very interesting week 6 of the high school football season. Tom will have you covered all week in the News Sentinel. We'll have you covered Friday night on the Highlight Zone. For Tom, I'm Glenn. We'll see you next week.